3, 2, 1, action.
In September 2017, MRMS began making a full-length feature film. It is the third movie created by Ram Media and destined to be the best. This is the story of creating The Basement.
Action.
You know, I was just walking back.
Yeah.
Do something cool. Hi, I love it. Welcome to the basement. We got
A little on this side. Pre-production is where most of the work takes place, actually. You're coming up with your ideas, you're writing your treatment, you write your screenplay, you cast your movie, you scout your locations, you figure out, you do your storyboarding, which we did a little bit of. Figure out what equipment you're going to need, what camera lenses you're going to use. Ordering things if you don't have them, getting everything ready. We actually got a cart together this year that we could take on everywhere we went to film, and we had our toolbox on there, we had our camera lenses, we had the clapboard, so all the stuff that we would take with us all the time we had on this little cart.
So pre-production, it involves stuff like writing the scripts and storyboarding the movie, so we were able to move into production.
Usually it's more adults, but this time it's like kids doing it, so that's kind of cool, and it's taking place at a school.
Okay, quiet on the set, camera's rolling.
Action.
So basically production is where we film most of our scenes, we do all of our acting, and we start figuring out how the movie's gonna start looking.
You guys are all staring at him and he doesn't know what's going on. Okay. He's going to do his lines there, and they're going to try to go to grab him again.
We had to film in the Mountain Ridge basement because that's mainly where it takes place. And there, we had to wear masks over our face when we were filming, and when the actors weren't acting, we had to do that because there was so much dirt and dust, and if we did it, it would like pretty much just ruin their lungs. So.
Okay, so we shot some scenes in this boiler room, which was really, really hot. And all of our characters wore jackets as part of our costumes. So we had to improv some lines in there to get an excuse to take our jackets off because it was so hot in there.
We are missing.
Wait, I don't remember if his name's Lucas.
Why'd you take apart Mrs. Beckett's pen?
You put it back together.
Did you get that, Logan?
Yeah, I got
Good.
you.
All right.
Yeah.
I had trouble with the lines kind of, because usually I'm so used of like memorizing the whole entire thing, but this time I only had to memorize sections at a time, and I only had a short amount of time to memorize those lines because he'd email us. So I feel like I had trouble like doing those lines, and then also I had trouble sticking to the lines because usually I like put my own twist on it because they're like super standard and like not really how you would talk.
I played the janitor in our upcoming movie. Let's see, I've been in 2 movies, and the first one I played a janitor, and then the second one I played a janitor, and in the third one, janitor.
Oh, the most fun I had filming was really just being with the kids. It gives me a chance to see them in a different light, whether they're behind the camera or they're in a scene with me. You know, we're actors now instead of teacher-student, and it's fun to see them develop their characters and, you know, loosen up and joke around a little bit and have some fun.
So because the basement's so dark, we had a lot of lighting issues, so we had to learn how to work with the ISO and exposure on the camera while making it seem still realistic, but not seem like you want to be able to see the actors' faces but still make it dark. So it's difficult for the cameraman, and we'd take multiple scenes multiple times because of lighting issues.
I've done like live
theater, but not really like a movie. This is really my first time in an actual movie, so it was kind of interesting to learn how it's done and the different steps and making sure that it's as realistic as possible.
Acting, I consider myself a really bad actor. So that was just kind of stressful because I'm bad at stuff like that.
Well, I'm really busy this spring. I'm just doing a total of 4 shows at one time. So it's really difficult to find the time to learn different lines and just to figure out different ways to act and have good chemistry with other actors.
I enjoy trying to support kids doing their craft, and I've always, I don't know, wanted to see what it was like to try and act. So, but it was a good time.
I think the most fun part about the process is just goofing around with the kids, showing them that yes, it's work, but let's have fun with it. Let's make this entertaining as well.
The assistant director. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some
I may have frustrated the director a few times. He may have given me a few stern looks, but you know what? The kids were having a great time, and in the end, we got all the work done.
Wow.
That's a bit better though.
I thought it was rotten. Rotten. Was it rotten? It's staying now.
He does smell like old beef.
Okay. Stay there. Microphone on? Nope. Great.
So post-production is when we get all of our editing done. It's when we do color grading and ADR.
It's different because kids are editing it and putting it all together and not a bunch of pro adults.
I worked on the movie trailer and movie poster, and I learned how to make a great movie poster like the ones that you would see in the theaters.
It's just in progress. Yeah, that's what that is. So they're kind of flying over the mobile in which episode is it? Monsters.
Monsters, yeah.
In the Monsters episode.
My favorite part of the movie making process is by far watching it come to life within the students. Watching them take the idea, take ownership of it, and bring it to life. It's much like planting a seed. We can help them plant that seed. We can water it, but at some point, the seed turns into something. It grows on its own. So we get to the point with, with the movie making process that the students are taking ownership and they're taking ideas, and it's really growing once they get excited about it. So watching them take that ownership and seeing what it can do is really the beautiful thing of working with students and empowering them to take these ideas and run with them.
I just hope that it's good, I guess.
I think it's gonna be better than the last 2.
I think it should be really good because we worked really hard just memorizing and just think of different ways of acting it. So I think the editing and the soundtrack will turn out all great, hopefully. So.
I think watching the last 2, since this is the 3rd one, I know the second one I felt was even better than the first one, and so I think this one will be the same thing. It'll just be even better than the other 2 and a ton of fun.
I think it's going to be really good from what I have seen. It seems like it's going to be better than Twilight Ridge. Sorry if you made Twilight Ridge, but I think we surpassed it.
I have high expectations for the movie. I think it's going to be pretty good.
If people were thinking about coming to see the movie, I would say absolutely come see it. We put a lot of work into it. It looks good.
Just have to go see it.
I think it's going to be good. I think you should definitely go and see it. It's going to be, I guess, a thriller. It's going to be fun.
I don't think I have any expectations for the movie. My expectation is that, I guess, at the end of the day, the students had fun learning. All these students, my hope is, all these students that put in extra time, put in stress, put in blood, sweat, and tears because they care so much about making a great product, that at the end of the day, they can smile and be proud of themselves. They will hug each other after the premiere and say, we did it. all this work. It's been a year long of work, and this is a big project because not a lot of stuff around the school building takes an entire year to work on. And so they started brainstorming the first couple weeks of class. This won't go up until the last few weeks of class. So that's a long project. My hope is that they really embrace the fact that through the ups and downs, they came together and they did it. And that's really the fun part about being a teacher.
I'm always impressed with the kids, with the editing, as I get to see the one before, but I mean, even now it seems like it's pretty cool what kids can put together when they really go after and put their mind towards something. So, it's always something they should be proud of, but obviously it's a starting point. It's kind of a foundation, cornerstone for them. If they want to carry this on, that they'll the hope is that they'll keep really developing their craft. So,
experience is what it's about. I mean, you come to these, filmings and you just feel confident. After you've done a couple, you feel like, hey, I can nail this, I can do it, and hey, let's make this a great movie.
These movies are really created to foster emotion in people, whether it's, suspense or a little bit of fear or funny, or they're all generated to create emotion. And the one that the students created by themselves that they wrote, that's the one that I'm just super excited to see up on the big screen because it's an original piece of work. And the fact that they've been inspired to create their own original work is pretty cool.